I call to order the Town of Swanton Selectboard meeting Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Everyone to please join. Pledge allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda review. Christine.
I'm all set, thank you. I'm good, thank you.
Nicole.
All good.
Good. I'm good.
I'm good.
Steve.
Other business, I'd like to add one item, that would be a discussion of the December 2nd memo that I had sent out. And a couple of other little thoughts I've got. Won't take long.
Okay. Ryan.
I just, excuse me, I knew that was coming. Thank you. I would just like to, under other business, I'd like to just talk about the heating system in this building for a bit, if we could.
Okay. Minutes. Entertain a motion to approve the regular select board meeting minutes of
So moved.
January 6, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Which has been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah, there's one thing in here. This $19,998.60, that is actually the stormwater money, not the Brooklyn Street project.
All right, let's take a look at the budget.
Now, if you look at the town report last year, 2024, you'll see that was a carryover. Yeah, that carryover for that and the carryover for Brooklyn Street were both put aside because we didn't re-budget for them. Except 2,500 was.
Right.
So there's actually less than that 35 in there now, but.
Yeah, I don't have, what's the number then?
Kathy will do that tomorrow.
Yeah, you got one right
Yeah, we
here.
got the town reports in there.
Highway. Brooklyn. Carry over to 19,998.60 is what is in the,
So the
Yeah,
so
Brooklyn,
that's,
If you look at Brooklyn Street, cars right here,
right,
we had 40,000 budgeted, 35,000 left over.
stormwater permit,
Yeah, see, they-
35,837.
See, they got them, one of them is stormwater, one of them was Brooklyn Street.
Right, okay. And
So
now,
they're just in reverse, I mean,
yeah,
I think,
stormwater had a balance of 19,998.60, as you're saying.
Yeah.
Brooklyn had a 35,837.50. So,
that's just change the number around.
yeah, that's something we can correct, Kathy.
where is it? Oh, yeah.
It's on page three, I guess. Yeah,
Well, it's projected to 2025. I mean, I have to pull out my reports, because I think I had it corrected in my reports, but not right here.
yeah.
So what do you want this
Okay.
number to be?
Yeah,
Should be 35,837.50.
35,837.50.
That, right. And the good news is we will get Brooklyn Street done for a fair amount less than that, so we'll have some balance. Anything else, Earl?
Nope, that's it.
All right, thanks for the catch. Here, no further discussion. All those in favor state aye. Aye.
All right.
Opposed, so moved. Public comment, and this is public comment for anything that is not on the agenda. Okay. Law enforcement, chief. Welcome.
So
month of December, our top 10 incident types were 23 traffic stops, 20 directed patrols, 10 suspicious, 3 motorist assist, 3 welfare checks, 2 crashes, 2 driving license suspended, 2 community outreach, 2 motor vehicle, and 2 agency assist. There were 79 incidents total in the town. Again, 23 traffic stops resulting in 24 tickets and 18 warnings. There were 7 arrests, representing 7 individuals and 16 charges for those 7 arrests. There were approximately 5 additional service hours. In the back of the packet, there were only showing 4 incidents, there were actually 6 incidents. But looking at the year-end stats for 2025, there were 1,062 incidents in the town, 274 traffic stops, 120 tickets, 257 warnings, 53 arrests total, representing 90 charges out of those 53 arrests. The call volume in total for Swan Village Police Department was 2,912 incidents in 2025, which was a decrease of approximately 10% from 3,250 incidents in 2024. We had 467 traffic stops total, which was an increase of approximately 17% from 389 traffic stops in 2024. We stopped 133 vehicles in the village, issuing 110 warnings and 98 tickets. And again, stopping 200, well, I had 272. It's interesting, so the data, the numbers will, depending on when the system's queried, are a little different. So I had in the report 272 stops in the town, 272, 274, issuing 248 warnings and 120 tickets. We wrote a total of $45,000 roughly worth of tickets, 22,680 in the town. The police department in total made approximately 190 arrests, compared to 156 arrests in 2024. So that number was pretty substantially larger. There were, related to traffic, there were 22 arrests for operation after suspension, or DLS. There were 10 arrests for DLS in the town. There were 8 arrests for driving under the influence. 2 of these were in the town. Officers made approximately 19 arrests associated with drug distribution and possession.
Chief, of the fines that you were able to collect, are we able to keep all of that, or do we have to distribute it?
We don't collect them. It's all through the Judicial Bureau in White River Junction, so it goes through them, and they do. My understanding is that some certain percentage of those fines comes back
Okay.
to the town and the village respectively. Most of it actually to the town, because I think the officers, the way they code the tickets, if they don't put a V at the end of the code, it doesn't go to the village, it goes to the town. So I think because the trustees were asking why there wasn't more funds coming back to them from the Judicial Bureau, and it's probably that clerical
Just
error.
leave that alone, that's all.
So yeah, so there is some, but we don't really control it. It's out of our hands. We just do the enforcement on the street, and it all goes through White River Junction.
You show that, don't you, as one of the anticipated revenues or not?
What's that?
The,
What we get for tickets?
Traffic
It goes
tickets.
under the highway.
yeah, is there, or you just put it in the highway, or was it, I thought
No.
I saw something that said anticipate, judicial fees permit?
Yes.
That's, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nominal amount. We
Right.
never really make money, so to speak, off of issuing traffic tickets, but in any case, it's interesting looking at the numbers. So in 2022, we had 2,352 incidents in total. In 2023, 2,757. Last year, 3,249, and this year, 2,827. I anticipate, unless we expand coverage, that we're gonna level off roughly in that 3,000 incident per year area. for total incidents. They may go up a little bit. We just onboarded a new officer, came to us from Franklin County Sheriff's. He's been doing a great job with traffic enforcement. He's very interested in that. So I anticipate the traffic enforcement numbers will go up. And so he's also been essentially a force multiplier for the town because he's been doing governor's highway safety details outside of his regular work hours and really hitting traffic in his first couple of weeks. So as long as that continues, I
He does
anticipate.
township. He does the township.
Well, he's on at night generally right now, but he's also, those governor highway safety hours are outside regular shifts, so he'll come in during the day and he'll do 6 hours at a time of traffic enforcement, and that's what it is, it's just traffic enforcement. So some of that traffic enforcement, he'll patrol the town, the village, and sometimes, the highway and that sort of thing.
I noticed in here that you were up in Sheldon Road, you're still spending some time in the Sheldon Road, Butchie Road area.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the officers know, that these are problem spots, so that's what they're focusing on. So I anticipate, again, some pretty good numbers moving forward as far as traffic enforcement. So in regard to that, we lost one officer who moved out of state, which is unfortunate because he did a really nice job. But we onboarded this new officer, so he looks very promising, has experience. And so I anticipate that'll be an asset for the agency. We also have other individuals in the pipeline, so I anticipate we may be at technically full staffing because we're covering the SRO cost for the elementary school SRO currently until NBSD picks up that cost in July during their fiscal year. So I anticipate hopefully we'll be at full staff in March. And then opening that position once that the monies are freed up for that salary when NBSD takes on that responsibility. And then we'll have another position open at that time to hire. So given the fact that we have a couple people in the pipeline right now, in July, we could be at full staffing, which would be great.
Question for you, someone doesn't have registration showing on their vehicle, is that good enough to pull them over?
Yes.
So if you pull them over, no registration, this is while they're driving, not the park, this is the other one that I talked to you about. No registration, probably no inspection and no insurance, is the best we can do is just cite them?
Not even, those are all civil violations, so we can't even cite them. We can issue them tickets.
Okay, maybe.
And tow their vehicle. Now, if they're criminal DLS or criminally suspended, we can issue a citation. But that's, and we could temporarily arrest them, so, because it's technically a witness misdemeanor. If the officer sees them operating, pulls them over, finds out that they're criminally suspended and operating a motor vehicle, we can actually take them into custody, bring them back to the police department, essentially process them, and then we have to release them as soon as they're processed with a citation to appear in court.
Because we still have the one running on McQuon, pretty much like clockwork.
Even by tonight.
Oh yeah, this morning and tonight, it's within 5 minutes either side at the same time every night. One day he's flying, another day he's doing probably the speed limit. But I can even, and I won't do it in front of the camera, I can tell you where the car is every day. Someone going to work, coming home to work.
Okay, well, that would be good to know. We can certainly,
And there's nothing on the back of that car.
Okay. Yeah, so it's certainly a reason to stop the car, and then figure out exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And again, you have to have your motor vehicle, has to be registered, it has to be insured to be operated on a public highway. So we can tow that vehicle if we encounter somebody operating a vehicle on a public highway in that condition.
And they get the vehicle back before they try to show proof of insurance and registration?
It's really so we could request that the towing company not release it until they do that, but that's really, then we're relying on the towing company to enforce that.
Who pays the towing company?
The individual, yep.
In the case of the other one where they're parked and living out of the car. Can we do anything if we don't catch them driving it?
It depends. I mean, it depends on where they're parked. Again, if there are locations, if they're parked, for example, in the parking lot for the rail trail that we previously discussed, that's considered a public highway because it's open to the flow of traffic. So similar to Hannaford's parking lot would be considered a public highway also, even though it's not a public highway technically according to state statute. It is to some degree, right, because it's open to the general flow of traffic.
Because that one a couple weeks ago was back, had disappeared for quite a while, but every time I'm in the village, I take a swing through there.
Yeah.
And this last week, I haven't seen it there, but a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago it was there.
I did have a conversation with that individual.
I
and
saw
so-
that.
And so he agreed to not be parking in that location. And said that he was going to be spending some time in St. Albans when we had that conversation. So I anticipate, because I haven't, quite frankly, seen him really since that time.
Right.
And it has been a little while, so, but again, he's going to be around in the area in general.
But is that vehicle registered?
I believe it is, but I would have to dig into that more.
Because that one time when I looked, I didn't see any paperwork on the back of it.
Yeah, I mean, the other issue is, again, these temp tags, but we can
Right.
at least run them now. So it may be one of those situations where he had a temp tag and was renewing that. But the state was supposedly addressing that issue also, because that was a common thing where people were just re-registering a temp tag, and I believe the fee was only $5, and especially if they had just purchased the vehicle, so to speak, they didn't have to pay the taxes in order to get that temp registration, and I want to say DMV has changed that system, is my understanding, as of January.
Is that masked person still walking around the neighborhood?
I'm not sure, I haven't,
Saw him the other day.
Oh, you did?
oh, you did see him?
Yeah, I had them for a long time.
Yeah. So it's been, a month or two since we've interacted with him.
We're staying in where it's warm.
Yeah, that's true, in this weather.
I do want to jump back real quick because the LVRT obviously is $500,000 asset to the town and to everybody in Swanton and all those who use it. Because it's on Robin Hood, I would ask that you talk with your folks and see, like when they're coming to the station, if they're coming off 78, to just go a little bit farther and U-turn in there, just to show a little more of a presence without really taking much of their time. It's probably an extra couple minutes, you know? When they're coming back to the station, if they just swing in there.
Yeah, it would be good to have cameras in that
We're trying to get
location,
'em.
because it will, I mean, I just had an incident, was it earlier, I guess it was last week, the end of last week. We had a stolen vehicle in the village and it ended up abandoned in that parking lot. And unfortunately, we didn't have really good camera coverage. MVSD has some cameras that pick up the lot over there, but it's not great quality.
Do you work with Mr. Bond, Ken Bond, the guy who does your camera system?
I haven't personally worked with
I
him,
gave
but
him the go-ahead in October, and
yeah,
I called him the other day, and then he didn't call me back, so I'm trying to find someone else, because thought he was gonna take care of it a couple months ago.
yeah.
We're trying to get cameras in there, absolutely, based on, your recommendation prior.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's gonna invite
Oh, yeah.
people in, just, in this case, what we're discussing, the individual who is living in this vehicle, I mean, it's a spot for him to park, so he finds him inviting, and kind of in a public spot, so probably some measure of safety, he feels like, because he's in public, and not like tucked away somewhere where something could happen and nobody would really know or notice.
And we're working on a loitering ordinance too, based on your recommendation. We're not there
Camping
yet,
ordinance
but,
to include no car camping.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, unfortunately, people find themselves in these situations, and then it, becomes an issue for the general public, so.
All right, well, thank you, Chief. A lot of questions from me, and then a great 2025, very busy, and appreciate what you guys have done.
Good job the other day over here on Forest Street.
Oh, yeah, so that was state police actually closing out their case from an issue in Highgate, so the home invasion in Highgate. But yes,
Sends a good message.
it does, yeah, and I think unfortunately the criminal justice system needs to, I mean, the frustration for law enforcement on the street level, and I realize we're dealing with state statutes and the Vermont Constitution, and the judges are doing their best to interpret and apply those documents, is that people are not held accountable for their behavior and they continue to engage in the same behavior. I can give you another example before I go. Some of the individuals we've dealt with previously that we're familiar with, we were dealing with an incident over at McDonald's and found a grocery cart full of groceries, and we were told that they were purchased with an EBT card. Well, it was very suspect that that was the case, so as soon as we lost contact with them on the issue at McDonald's, we went to Hannaford's to check. They said, oh no, they attempted, but they did not make that purchase, and sure enough, they pushed out almost $700 worth of groceries that we were able to recover. But the issue is Hannaford's can't restock those groceries once they leave the door. That's it, they're done, so they're worthless to Hannaford's.
Wow.
So I was shocked at the value. I mean, I was estimating maybe $300 given how expensive groceries are these days, but when they went through and rang them all up, it was almost $700 worth of groceries.
They couldn't give them to the food shelf or anything? I'm just curious.
My guess is no, just because that once they're out of their
Concern
control.
of the same liability that they would have.
Right, if something were to happen. So, I mean, it's unfortunate because it's such a waste of food.
Yeah.
But, you know, things like that, I mean, I think they're getting hit all the time on a regular basis, and they're not necessarily reporting it to us on a regular basis. So occasionally we have made arrests for retail theft out of that facility, but I think it's happening a lot more often than we're aware of necessarily, which is not necessarily good. I encourage the staff to call us, but the thing is, Hannaford's in general as a corporation has hired, for example, Chittenden County Sheriff to work at some of their other facilities due to how bad shoplifting is. But you know, people like this, unless they're held accountable, and they haven't been, they're going to keep continuing to do the same thing over and over and over again. And I'll tell you this, some of the groceries in that cart, I certainly don't purchase on a regular basis. I mean, these people are eating better than probably most of the regular citizens. So it was something else. But
Do local stores, when they get shoplifted, do they like ban these individuals? I know.
yeah, so they can issue trespass notices. They usually do. So that they're trespassed from that location, but the issue is, again, for trespassing, it's again, if they do end up trespassing in the future, they get a citation to appear in court, usually a month or two down the road, and then because the state's attorney's office, quite frankly, is overwhelmed with caseload, a lot of times, you know, they're pushing through their docket as quickly as possible just to try to clear cases. So again, the accountability just isn't there because there's not enough capacity with the criminal justice system. And I think that needs to change. And until it does, we're going to continue to suffer in general from these, from criminal behavior.
Yeah, that one in Burlington, what was it, like 1,600 times or some crazy number? They had hauled the guy in and spoken to him.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's people that are down on their luck, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, they're engaging in the kind of lower level criminality, but the thing is, there still needs to be accountability. Otherwise, they're going to keep engaging in the same behavior.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you, Chief.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Good night.
Animal control, page 17.
A lot of unlicensed dogs that haven't got licensed. One day before. What's our ordinance call for in that situation?
Well, I know a couple of them called and they couldn't get an appointment until the end of this month. So this report may change, but I know there is one instance that the guy's just refusing to register his dogs.
I
That would
believe
be the stuff.
they can impound the dog, but at what point then it's gonna cost us to board that dog, so. So I'm concerned as well, because if they're unlicensed, they're not vaccinated, more or less, speaking, safe to assume. So, Jim and I have discussed this, and, we look for direction from the board. How strongly do you want to enforce them?
I think if we got someone who's not, and blatantly not wanting to license them, and then we know it's not vaccinated as well, it's part of our job to probably to haul the dog in.
Yeah, maybe there ought to be a limit on the number of times that we fight, the same dog.
Yeah, like twice. And you've been told twice, so, okay. I can discuss that with Jen. And
Yeah, I think he went with the police there today.
Yeah, from my understanding, for the one that shows up here multiple times at that same address,
Yeah.
he did go today with a police escort to try and mediate the situation, and I didn't get a report of what happened after the vet meeting.
If you could, when you talk to him,
Yeah.
get an update and just email us so we're aware of it. I would take
Well,
I
I
don't
think
have,
he's sending the guy a letter because he refused, today told him he was not going to register his dogs. So Jim sent him a violation letter today. And then he said he'll see if that prompts anything, and if not, then I think that's the next step he might have talked to Brian about.
okay. Anything else on animal control?
Just a question, are the roosters now outlawed in the village? I think I read that in the
They
village.
passed an ordinance, I'm not sure if it's in effect yet.
Okay, heard one this morning, I didn't know if they were gonna come
It's
after
a
it.
60-day, I believe it's a 60-day period there, that, so you're getting close.
All right, moving on. Highway Department report, fairly busy with the snow plowing as we discussed before. Sand shed's about half full, but there's plenty of sand behind it, so when they need to, they'll start mixing sand and salt again and make sure we have plenty, but we'll get through the year, no problem. The sander slash salter, and we've been using it for salt the last few years for just small areas. That fits in the back of the small dump truck. The auger actually, and we've had this for about 10, 12 years, the auger the other day came apart. So new auger should be here tomorrow. They'll be working to put that together. They had some issues with the loader and some controls on the loader. They have since got that fixed. So overall, the equipment is doing well. A couple people have approached me about why don't we salt our roads. If you drive down McQuam Shore and you get to James Road and you see St. Albans comes all the way to James Road with just the salt, what the difference is between the roads. I'm gonna do a little homework and get the price difference, just so that we're aware of it, and if it becomes a discussion item. Years ago, when I looked into it, it was quite a significant increase in the budget, the quantity of salt versus sand. Salt's about 100, what was it, 120, I think, or something we paying this year? I forgot, it was up in that
It was
range.
in the hundreds, I know that.
Yeah, and sand, we pay like $8 or something. So I'll get you some info on that in case some of the people are asking me.
I had 2 calls, I forget which morning it was, before I got back to call you. The truck went down and sanded, so I figured somebody took care of it. The only spot that I wish we could pay a little more attention is right by the beach where they have that sharp, by the village beach, you have that sharp corner. Something, because it is pretty quick there. And if somebody is coming the other way and you don't adjust properly, you're gonna start to do this, but that corner especially. The rest of it, it's cleaned up somehow.
How about down your way, Earl? Any real issues?
No, it's typical of the way town roads always been maintained. I mean, they're certainly adequate to drive on. Never had a problem. I usually leave at 4 o'clock in the morning. Most of the time I'm out before they get there. But I don't see where the roads are that bad. I know we'd like to lose salt, but if you're gonna look at that, maybe we ought to look at that other brine or whatever. I know it's expensive to get it set up, but I guess that's supposed to be a lot cheaper than straight salt.
We'll take a look. First thing I wanna do is just ask St. Albans, what's their total number of miles and how much salt do they go through?
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
that's an easy one to get a quick number. Someone was telling me we're gonna save on a lot of hours of driving, we're not, because you still gotta get the material down, and then as things start to break up, you've gotta clean it up. Your vehicle doesn't look as bad with the salt, but, and the road's gonna be a little smoother, sometimes we get that buildup on the road, but regarding 4 o'clock, they try to get out around 4 on the mornings that they know the roads are gonna be slippery, so by 7, they've got all the roads done for buses and commuters.
Yeah, that's more important. I mean,
Right.
I can get out of there.
No, I realize that, but that's,
But it's Vermont in the winter, you gotta expect this, you just gotta slow down, take your time and use your head. All the salt in the world hasn't stopped all the accidents on the interstate.
no,
fast.
4-wheel drive doesn't either,
Yeah.
because they just go faster. Oh, I got my ear full on how we're gonna fix everything by going to salt, and I tried to explain to them that's probably not the case, but I wanna get you folks in.
Four-wheel drive, they go farther than they did.
Yeah, that's
In the
true.
ditch, yeah.
First snow season,
Yeah.
first snowfall, you'd see more in the, off the road there
Yeah.
with 4-wheel drive. All right, any questions at all? All right, move on to expenditures. The dates on the expenditures, December 17th to December 31st, 2025. The first one is, the general for $10,404.49. For a motion,
I'd make a motion, we approve the general orders for $10,404.49.
there a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
Green Mountain Networking. What's the network, all labor, all office, what's that, everything's connected together now?
Yeah, when Peter comes in and does, like, he just updated our Viper antivirus, and he's done a lot of work for different offices for different uses. So it covers like all of us in here, everybody in here.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed, so moved. Highway orders, if you folks are gonna read the number, then I won't bother. Highway orders, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the highway orders for $42,395.29.
There a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion?
$8,000 worth of fuel, that, they've been on the road a lot,
December was pretty busy.
yeah.
Yeah. Still, came in under budget total, but,
Yeah.
But
very
they did with that 8,000, refill their 55-gallon drums with oil and, something
So
else they
the
use.
oil,
There's a
so
couple,
yeah.
2 things on there that normally
not
it's a
just
once a year
diesel,
expense.
And the
So
year
about
before the end of the year?
About $2,000 of that is refilling the tanks at the garage,
Yeah.
just so you know. I called
okay.
Kevin and was like, $8,000.
Any other, discussion? Hear none, all those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed, so moved. Library, I guess do we have to approve 0? I'm gonna move on to highway and general payroll then.
I'll move that we approve the highway and general payroll for the amount of $31,635.31.
Hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hear none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Library payroll orders. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the library payroll orders of $6,309.30.
Hear a second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
What I see listed twice, one after another, for Hillary.
That was her sick pay.
Okay.
No other discussion, all those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved. Special orders, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the special orders in the amount of $54,925.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
That's the final payment up there.
That's the final payment to Wright's Excavating. And the only thing trying to get done is a camera installed, so we can get the grant money 80/20 versus us just paying for the camera, but I've been working with two different people now, and I'm having a problem getting any type of services. Quite frustrating.
So we can't put in for reimbursement until we get everything done.
No, this has already been in for reimbursement,
Has the money
right?
come
This
back?
last one,
Yeah,
yeah.
we just sent it in when we paid it on December 22nd.
Right, so this is the only one
So-
that hasn't been
So,
reimbursed
yeah,
as far as
right, but
Wright's.
we put in for it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Cause I got a call on it and was asked whether it was the final, and I
Yeah.
said, well, we wanna get the camera, and so. Any other discussion on special orders? Hearing none, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Give me just a second, cause I have now buried my next page.
Here we go.
Old Town Business, 2026 Library Building Budget Adoption. That's in a separate stack. Looks like a total change of 1.7% over last year, and the employees only went up 1.16, even though they get their 3%, right?
Right,
But
yes.
because of changes in who or whatever, it didn't, yeah, so this is, looks pretty good. I don't know if we have any further discussion on that.
So basically, the budget's 313,017.99, but they had an overage under budgeted of 62,141.97. So the actual money to be raised by taxes is gonna be the 250,876.02, and that's basically because of the insurance.
Well,
Because there were two family plans on there, and now there's one, but just in case they need it,
We're
we
carrying
should
it
just
for
leave
next
it there
year.
instead of,
being short,
yeah.
So last year, how much did we raise by taxes? That 245,000, is that?
No, that was
No.
the actual budget, what they spent in
Okay.
2025.
last year,
It was 307, there was only.
307, 776,
Yeah, it was last
36.
So that's gonna help make up for the increases in the emergency services, then, isn't it? As far as the overall tax rate. Cause we're saving 50,000 from what we had last year. 50,000, yeah.
We've seen that on the general budget.
Yeah, well, I guess I'll make a motion that we approve the, library budget, for the amount of 350.
Nope.
Nope.
Well, you can approve the budget for 313,017.99, but the
Yeah.
amount to be raised by taxes will be the 258,76.02.
Okay, did you get all that, Christina? Yep, okay, I'll make that motion.
Very second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Now, that's a firm on the 2025 expenditures.
Yes.
Okay, just because if
They're all-
if it isn't, we're approving that 250,
No,
otherwise we
they're-
just approve their,
All the
313.
2025 bills have been paid for every department that I take care of right now.
okay?
So there should be no changes. There will not be any changes.
There's no further discussion. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. All right, now we're moving on to the highway. Pretty much, what we went over last time. Overall, the highway portion is a minus 3.63. And then when you add in the fire protection, police protection, it comes up, what, a 1.47% increase. Big piece is the police increase at 17.37%. Fire protection drops down, but some of that is because of dispatch going into the general budget. And then what Kathy shows, on the bottom of the first page is the truck purchase, and that comes out of a different fund, so then she removes that, comes out of that equipment reserve account. Same with the Ford pickup. Shows the carryover on the road improvement, the Swanton Hill paving grant, because those numbers show quite a bit over in the actual upper numbers, but we had carryover to buy them down, that's why overall we're in good shape there. The one thing I didn't see in here was the engineering cost, it was there.
Because it's in the engineering services on,
Oh, that's right, yes, you did put it back up there.
yes.
Okay.
yeah.
So that 25,000 for the design of the Berry Road culvert is in the line item where it says engineering services. We got 22.5 back in a grant for that.
So what is the final end of the day? Is it a 3% decrease?
It's 3.63 on the highway. But highway, because it only covers the town people outside of the village, we tack on the fire protection and the police protection. So that's a 1.47% increase when you add those two in.
On the highway budget, go back to that stormwater permit, so we had a balance this year of 72.43 and 60 cents. We set aside the balance from last year. I did have this conversation with Brian, and we still don't know what's really going on.
Right. I've asked for an
It might be advisable to set that aside too, so we keep building that fund up a little bit at a time in case when we finally get the bill. Because right now, it's just part of the rollover, right? It's not set aside separately.
Right.
We could, Earl, I am fairly confident it's not gonna get resolved in 2025 at the
I am
pace
too.
we're going.
I
So
am
with-
too.
So we'd have the 10,000, we could carry that over at the end of 2026. Right? Aren't we showing stormwater 10,000?
Yeah, you budgeted another 10 this
Yeah,
year,
I'm pretty comfortable we can,
but it just builds the fund up because it could be considerably costly. Some of the numbers that Brian and I were talking about, you were saying.
Yeah, the thing is, we don't have a crystal ball.
I know.
And and this is just for the permitting cost, it's not anything to do with if there's a problem, the fixing cost. So I do agree, probably in 2026, we're probably not gonna have much headway because of the real convoluted deal with the whole process.
we didn't even move forward in 2025.
No. And I've asked for an update from the engineer, because we haven't heard from them, as what's the latest status, and so I'm awaiting that, so.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable that as we build the 2027 budget, if we need to add to that 10,000, would be okay, but if the board members wanna take that 7,000 out of the carryover, we can, that's the board.
Very small amount. What's gonna happen if you just leave it in there?
It'll be just part of the rollover, right?
It just reduces the,
Balance on hand to reduce taxes, so it's
right,
gonna reduce.
is what,
It's not
the
really-
balance reduces the amount that we tax, so I mean, again, I think we're in pretty good shape if we stay the way we are, but that's for the board.
What do you suggest?
I suggest we leave it at 10,000. We get the line item for 10,000, and the 7,000's already built into that carryover number, and I think we're fine. So, just entertain a motion to approve the budget.
I'd make a motion that we approve the budget that we have here.
Here's a second.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hear none, all in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved, moving on to the general budget.
You need the amount in that motion?
The amount that's showing here, so that is what is approved, is the
To be raised by taxes.
1,055,663.94.
to be raised by taxes, $1,055,662.94. Yes. Moving on to the general budget, 8.3% increase, but that, a lot of that is due to the dispatch. Now, next year, the dispatch fee is gonna be double though, right?
Yeah.
We gotta,
Yeah.
so, right now it shows $50,940. Next year it's gonna be well over 100,000. So the overall, though, when you take out the decrease in the Missisquoi Valley Rescue, because dispatching came out of that, Swanton Library had a decrease, Swanton Rec had a 3% increase. The bottom line is a 3.28% overall increase. And that's not too bad when you consider that 3% was our guide, but we had to put in the dispatch. So I don't know if there's other questions. They can go to Kathy on that. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
A lot of those increases are out of our control. I mean, we have to be realistic. It is what it is.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But maybe, maybe next year we'll put a few footnotes in there just explaining again the dispatch cost, which was an unusual event, and explaining what the increase might be, because it's certainly beyond our control.
Some of that's explained in the actual report.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many will read both?
I'm gonna read either. Motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the general budget for $1,080,000, $1,080,260.89.
There a second?
With
That should be raised by
With the
taxes.
amount.
Right.
With the amount, and the amount to be raised by.
The amount to be raised by taxes is $887,923.55.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? So moved.
Just a comment, I think everybody did an outstanding job on this budget prep. We gave them some guidelines, we said we'd like to live within 3%, or whatever. I think they took that to heart and did a really good job. Some of the things they can't control, but even with that, it's been a very modest increase. So they did a good job.
Here's the orders.
Let me just find one thing here. Christina. I'll get 6 copies of that, please. All right, moving on to Newtown business employee evaluation. In the packet, it's called a form, but I think discussion is who reports on who and who reports on who. And did Christina get that in the, were we able to put in what we talked about in the personnel policies
The form is in,
to refer to in the form? Right, the form's in the packet, but
there was no place where it was referred in here of who, of an evaluation.
this is what you
center.
sent out to everybody? Because what I was talking to Christina about is we need to make this part of the personnel policy, like a separate little section somewhere where it says employee performance reviews, and then it lists who. It does talk about it a little bit in the compensation piece, but that is not an actual section, separate section dedicated to employee performance.
The only thing that is different in this versus the last one I emailed you, 2 months ago, is the vacation schedule was changed a little bit. So every 5 years, somebody got an increase, more comparable with other towns after Joel and Kathy and I spoke about it. Because the old one, I think he went from 1 to 2 to 8, 10 years before you got more vacation time. Other than that, it's exactly the same. And the only person that affects is Kevin. Nobody else is gonna get any more time.
He's been here forever.
Yeah,
Sure glad he has been.
yeah, that's the only person that it affects.
So I don't know, maybe Article 6, where it says conduct of employees, is where we put in, something about performance reviews, or we just do a separate article altogether, maybe a separate article. I would suggest maybe right after Article 4 is we put in Article 5, which is employee performance review. And it would show this as the form we use, and it would show the who reports who. And it would say that basically, you know, reviews are due 1 or 2 months after the end of the year. I think that all should be put in here formally.
I don't disagree. So you're saying after Article 4?
After Article 4, we have an Article 5, call it Employee Performance Review.
Who's going to do that?
I'll work with you on it if you want. Unless someone else wants to take it on. Should be the form, should be when, and who.
And then when we go listed under salary increases, who would do whose evaluation? Town administrator evaluates the assistant town administrator, the town clerk evaluates the
Where are
assistant
you,
town clerk.
Christina?
3.5.
What page?
KJ.
Okay,
Yeah, see, that to me should be pulled out because it's
it
not,
shouldn't be part of
it
that.
shouldn't be part of the salary increases piece, it should
We
just
can
be
move
part of
that
the
over.
evaluation, right? That's my recommendation.
Do you wanna put the, who's going to evaluate the zoning administrator? I don't see that.
Should be the
Select board. It's the last real sentence of the first paragraph. The select board evaluates the town administrator, road commissioner, and zoning administrator.
So we'll add that in.
Now, what are you gonna end up with salary increases, just that all employees will?
Well, that's for you guys to decide. Do you wanna, I mean, you do across the board salary increases. Do you want, I mean, and then evaluations, but.
Well, evaluations would be separate now, I guess.
And
But are
and
you
it
gonna
should be, I think
have a pay
under,
raise with that?
I think under salary increases, if the select board will determine salary increases for town employees. Generally, it'd be handled as across the board, however, in cases of special performance or something, the select board may determine to increase somebody's salary individually.
Or pay a bonus.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
wanna retain the right to do that.
Yeah, and so we could just word it something.
So there's a couple sentences there, that says that, you know, select board will set the salaries yearly, and they do retain the right to adjust salaries if necessary. Then everything else will be in performance evaluation.
But how do you wanna word that in the performance reviews?
Well, I don't know, because it does kind of tie
Yeah.
together in a way, but, you know, if you wanna move it out of there, then I guess maybe you should keep it all together in a performance review, I don't know.
Well, is the intent to tie salary increases to performance?
Wow,
And you have
And
to
you've
do a
gotta do it
formula.
before.
Yeah, I don't think we wanna get that,
Not right now.
no.
Let's put this to bed first.
Right.
You could put in the employee review part, you reserve the right to give people merit raises based on performance or something.
It says right here, merit
Some
raises.
have-
Cuts and pay
Move
based
it
on
over there.
performance too, can't you do that?
You could be hiring people then.
Yeah, I think it's all, I mean, at some point we probably should discuss merit raises or bonuses. I'd rather pay a bonus than increase the salary, because then that tilts your whole salary range. And the next year they may not get a bonus. We could do that outside of the salary ranges. It seems to be much more effective that way too. So it's not gonna be an annual expectation.
Yeah. So I think we could do a little rewording on the salary increases and add the performance review, and then you get this back out, is that reasonable?
Yeah.
What is covered here on page 8 of 30 says merit raises are approved at the select board discretion. Is that adequate for what we're talking about?
I think we just reword that just a little bit
Okay.
about.
Yeah. You know, if we're just gonna do a minor change, you don't need to send this all back out again. It's an awful lot of paper that,
No, just send the change out.
Yeah, that page.
That page plus the section.
yeah.
Yep.
section
Yeah.
5. And it'd be electronic anyway, but we just won't
Print it.
print it for the meeting, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Nicole? that-
Yeah, that sounds fine. I mean, everything else looks good otherwise.
Page 17 under workplace safety. Is there a reason why you're specifying again Johnson Farm, Garden, or O.C. McEwen's? Is that the only place you can get them boots?
One of the places you have accounts, right?
Or is that?
Now,
the
where is
reason?
that?
Page 17.
Okay.
Yeah, those are ones that have accounts, and then we did say if they go elsewhere, the boots are inspected and, the amount they would be reimbursed up to, so they can go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So if they go to McEwen's and the boots are $225, they have to come up with the other 75 right then, or does it still get billed to the town, then we deduct it somehow?
Well, we've never had anyone go over $150.
Never had.
No.
Boy, I'm surprised right now that they're not more than that.
Some,
Well, I guess I just had that question, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it should be clear here, said boots can be purchased at these places because we have an account. Oh, it does say in charge of Swanton.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, all right, that's fine.
The only thing, now that you brought that up, Earl, we wanna go to 175. Cause this has been 150 for a while.
I'm
Wow.
happy with going to 175. Footwear is important and they certainly
Yeah.
get their usage out of them.
So everyone's head nodded, so we'll change that to 175.
One thing I noticed in this is, we have an HR rep conduit for the select board. Should we make that role more official in the personnel policy? So like, put that employees can go to this person if they have any questions related to the select board.
changes every year.
It does change everyone.
I don't think you're saying the name, you're just
Yeah,
saying the rep.
just saying the rep.
Right, the personnel rep, my understanding from why we have that is so if we've got a personnel issue, that is a select board member who chases it a little bit and reports back to select board. It really isn't the conduit for an employee to come to the select board. That's through their supervisor and stuff, and then if there's an issue, that's a different story, but that rep is to handle personnel issues for the select board.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the intent. At least that's the way we used it when, for all the other years I've been doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
If you have anything else that you guys read, just email it to Joel and I.
Approve warning for the annual town meeting.
Okay, do they have a copy, Pat?
I gave it to Brian.
Oh, I got the copy.
Yeah, I gave it to you because you had asked me for it.
Oh, so,
You'll make copies.
I'll make a copy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I should have made 5 copies, I didn't realize that. I just
While he's
figured they would take
while
the
he's
numbers.
making copies, I'd like to go on to G real quick.
I could do that, Bob.
In the packets, an email I received regarding a mailbox that was damaged. Every year I get involved in 2 or 3 discussions regarding mailboxes. And the winter road policy's in here, which is a very short document. I think we should consider changing our policy. It's a good strict policy, but for the amount of money we're talking about, I think we'll get more goodwill out of paying for a few mailboxes versus, saying we're not gonna. People are taxpayers. I will say very emphatically, our road crew does not try to hit a mailbox, and they are often feeling terrible when they have hit one. This particular incident, the guy wanted to immediately go there and do something about it, but our policy says we're not gonna fix them. I look at it as you can buy a mailbox for about $35, the black one, a 4x4 post. So for less than $65 in materials, we can hand somebody a post and a mailbox. And if they wanna have the $400 mailbox, we give them the $65, but it'd be clear in our policy that we would at least provide them a mailbox and a post, and they get, put the thing up.
Joel, can I have a
Do
copy?
we put it up, do we go there and dig the hole and put it back up, or?
That's something that would be their responsibility. Temper until the springtime, really, you put it in a bucket of sand or something to hold it. You know, we certainly would talk with them and help them on that side, but I just put some words together, and I think this would cost us less than $1,000 a year.
It's goodwill,
I
just goodwill.
don't know what everybody else thinks, but if you agree, we'll get the words to change the policy.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree as well, I think it's correct. Yeah.
Earl?
Well, I think there's some issues there, but if everybody else is happy with it, I'll live with it.
Okay. We'll get some word in and discuss it more when we bring the word into the board.
Before we go on, we've got an employee evaluation schedule. Are we setting up a date for that?
Yeah, I think we're gonna make those changes, but we know who's gonna report to who.
Okay.
We've got the form, if everybody's in agreement. I think by the end of February, we ought to have some,
So we want everybody to have their forms filled out for the second meeting in February, is that the schedule?
I would say the first meeting in March, but at least we
First
have
meeting
it.
in March,
Get the-
okay.
But I guess the question is, how are we gonna do like Brian's? How's the select board gonna do that? What do you propose?
Well, we definitely would want to have a meeting of just the select board only. Probably have to be executive session, I assume, because it's personnel, that'd be the only proper way of doing it. And then, you know, afterwards, we report back to Brian.
So that would be, and we would do the same with Amy's.
Yep.
Yeah, and we had another one listed there.
Commissioner.
Your job,
I don't get paid.
road commissioner.
How you gonna evaluate this?
I don't.
But maybe that needs to
I'm
come
not-
out
I'm
of
not
there
gonna
as well.
evaluate. I can do an excellent job.
Yeah, well,
But in
Not good.
March 3rd is the first meeting, and that is a town meeting day. So,
We usually go to Wednesday,
We
right?
go to Wednesday.
I mean, we go fairly quick on the organizational, don't we?
Yeah.
If we got new members
you got-
here,
if you got new
I think we should do it before the town meeting.
Okay, so then
It'd have to be the second meeting in February.
and we actually set a separate meeting if we're gonna go to executive
Oh, sure.
session.
Well, could we, if it's just gonna be the board, could we do it before the start of the regular meeting? Have another way of doing it.
Maybe see if we can get it, yeah, see if we can, I think the board members should sketch in their
Yeah,
thoughts and then
yeah.
we discuss them and see if we can get them done in an hour.
Yep.
Is the process gonna be that we put in our thoughts and then send them to you ahead of time to review?
No, bring them to the meeting.
Okay, all right.
So
Just gonna fill in the form.
what's that?
For these, I think we're each gonna bring our own thoughts and then
That's
we'll
what,
fill
that's
one
what
out
we should do,
collectively.
Yeah.
we should be,
And then how do we homogenize these? They,
Discussion.
okay, and then we put it on one form which represents a consensus of all of us.
yes, yep, that would be, see if we can do it that way. Yeah. So we wanna come in at 5 o'clock, go to executive session,
on the 17th of February.
okay? That work? No,
I won't be here.
we'll be out.
Yep.
When you head out.
Can't zoom on.
I'm leaving the 13th and I come back the 20th of February. You can do, I mean, I can certainly get my input into you ahead of time, if that works. I don't want to screw up the schedule, but I will not be available.
Yeah, let's try that. If you could get some input to us.
Okay.
Yeah. Zoning and town administrator.
And the other thing, if we're on personnel policy, we should put that in there. It says that they're gonna be reviewed, the reviews are gonna be done by,
Second meeting in February.
yeah, or,
Yeah, I
you
know.
know, even the first meeting, it doesn't make any sense, now we're down to this time, but it should be in there so it gets done every year, otherwise,
We'll put that in there when we add the evaluation.
yeah.
Yep,
Perfect.
very good. Count the warning.
Yeah. So, I double-sided it, you've got it, it's, the usual stuff, Article 1 being the elected positions. Article 2 is the numbers for the highway department that you just approved, all the way through, standard language. But we get to Article 11, which is the local option tax issue. Now, as you read that, according to the Vermont Leagues as it is in town, is the required language for the local option tax. We do not need to put what we're going to use that local option tax for in the warrant.
But we can.
But we can, but if you do,
That's what you're gonna use it for.
right, but if you want to use it elsewhere, you have to go back to the voters.
I think we've made it very clear to the voters so far that it's for capital improvements and capital repairs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can
And capital improvements up to including an addition to a building, possibly a building, right? Capital improvements. I mean, I wanna make sure we know what that definition we think it means.
Well, there's two things, I mean, you have repairs to existing facilities, and then you have new facilities. New facilities is where I have a concern. It's possible we could build something for $1 million without any voter approval. And I'm not sure that's,
How would that happen, Earl? I guess I'm a little,
well, if we're sitting here, we're looking at this account and they say, okay, we want this building. I mean, we could, without voter approval, for funding,
If we
because
had
the money's there.
if the money's there.
Yeah, after, I guess, like 5, 6, 7 years if the money's there, but $1 million building,
Right.
if we were gonna take a
Right.
loan and use that money to buy down a loan, we'd have to get approval for the loan.
But I just feel that the community should be involved in any capital projects we do. The repairs, fine, I mean, they have to be done, you're bringing up the heating here, okay. If you had that fund, we could do something like that, voters aren't gonna have any problem with that, but if we start building new stuff, without their involvement, I think we're headed down a slippery road.
Yep.
I do too, but I feel pretty comfortable that any capital improvement of that dollar amount, we're not gonna have the money bankrolled. I'm comfortable adding on here capital improvement and capital repair. So the excess of 1% tax on sales rooms, meal, alcoholic beverages pursuant to be used solely on capital improvements and capital repairs.
Yep.
Okay, we can add that on.
I think that's important, because that's what we told them at the meeting.
Yeah,
So
and
let's keep it consistent.
Yep. So we can add.
So
that.
how do you want it to, tell me how you want it to read?
Okay, so assess 1% rooms and room. Okay, leave that first sentence as
Yeah.
it is, okay, and then these funds are to be used, the funds raised are to be used for capital improvements and capital repair.
Now, for writing the article, can we do that? I just want to make sure, I want to do this article and then find out we have to write it a different way. So we're good writing this article this way.
I would think so.
Okay.
Now, but of course, I don't know what the village will use their share. That's a separate side agreement.
they said the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they were.
So, yeah, we'll just.
I
I think,
what we need to have after, if this gets approved, we need to have a letter of agreement between the town and the
Yeah.
village, and that should be stated right in there, capital repairs, and improvements, 'cause that's what That's what I was quite certain the village was pretty adamant that, you know, a lot of it was toward the bridge or some other projects,
So it should be drafted and ready for that organizational meeting then.
Yeah, so just a comma after the section 138B.
Yeah,
And then put to be used for
capital improvements
capital.
and capital repairs.
Capital improvements and capital repair.
so improvements is that considered new builds or just repairs and improvements?
Well, improvements could be
Back to the new
You
build.
could call it capital additions
You
to,
could probably put capital project
capital projects,
and capital repairs. So
capital projects and capital repair.
Instead of improvements.
Yeah. I mean, it could cover a lot of stuff.
Thank you.
All right, so we're good with that, folks?
Yep.
Everything else on here, we're good with? All right,
Need a motion for that?
Yeah, we need a motion for the
entertain a
warning.
motion to approve the warning as discussed. Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor state aye. Aye. I didn't hear two of you.
I said aye.
Did you? I didn't hear you, Nicole, earlier than I.
yeah,
All right. Ayes have it. Set the date for public meeting, local option tax. At the previous public hearing that we had, public meeting, we said we were gonna do a second. I still think we should. I don't know what other folks think, but that
it's a
really,
good
I think
idea.
it's a good idea to have the village with us. And,
I think
be able to
it's,
explain to
this is
the
a
people.
brand new concept here. I think it's a good idea. You know, the more we talk about it, the better off we are. And we did say we're gonna have another meeting, so let's do it.
we're doing our due diligence to do what we say we're
Yep.
gonna do.
Okay.
And that's a point where Brian might explain the legislative holdup too. You know, like we're all in favor of it, we wanna put it in place, but legislatively, it's not moving. So I think that's where that kind of discussion would come out.
So, we gotta check then with the village schedule and see what they got going, but sometime probably, the next, what is today, the 20th, 19th, 20th today, so,
The 23rd is the informational meeting, right?
that'd be great.
23rd of February is the information
Yeah, what's the
meeting,
week
which we're gonna
prior?
talk about it then. So, if we're looking,
I think that second week in February would
that's
be.
what I'm thinking,
I get back,
9th to the 13th.
I get back around the 13th.
The village board, if they wanna do it at their board meeting, do it at their, I believe they would be meeting on the 9th, meet on Monday.
You wanna do it in one meeting?
I don't think the first meeting we had didn't take very long. I can check the bill, see if that was ordered for them, that way.
Yeah.
Have we ever held a public meeting on a weekend? Because that might open up an opportunity for more people that wouldn't be able to get here otherwise.
We've never done it since I've been here, but we have, I did it years ago at the village, and we had fewer show up than we ever had, but, you know, it's it'd be worth a shot. That was a long time ago, but.
Well, you wanna talk with them about the 9th and maybe the 14th, which is that Saturday?
It's
Or it's
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, forget it, or,
February 9th
This
would
is
be
the
the
one.
first shot.
This is the old
yeah.
one.
Okay. So February 9th, first shot.
If you wanted to do it other weekend, it'd have to be later, the 21st.
I'm just out of curiosity, I've
Yeah.
never heard of a public meeting being held on a weekend.
I think we go with the 9th if we can get it to happen. I won't be there, but, you
There's
folks
electronics
can.
that people can access if they want to.
Yeah, we will at least cover what we said we were gonna do.
Yeah.
One thing that was brought to my attention was someone suggested maybe doing a PowerPoint, which the last meeting didn't have, explain what the local option tax is.
Excuse me.
Yeah, we can do that. I gotta do the PowerPoint for the informational meeting anyhow, so that, so I can just do that when we're done with that, we can insert it into the information on the,
Yeah, I would say just a couple basic slides,
Yeah.
what it would be on, what the amount is, you know, a few other bullets, okay? NRPC zoning district map.
That's me, sorry. Planning Commission passed the changes last summer and we finally have the maps. And the Planning Commission approved them. Thank you. We just need, Joel to sign it, we just need to write this out. It says Chair of Joint Legislative Body, the Select Board. So I just need to. The big changes on here was the Southern Growth District was straightened up instead of the half circle it was. And the Shoreland District is now just the water side of McQuam, Lakewood, all the way around. Before it was both sides of the road, and now it's just the water. Other than that, and there's no more recreation up on Swanton Hill area. Pretty much everything that doesn't have water and sewer is on one.
So is this change, the planning commission's approved all
They've
this,
already
right? These were
approved it.
some of the
Yeah.
things they talked about.
So this is just the change of the map that we're talking about right now, not the new changes that they are working on.
Right, but is this, so this says NRPC, this
Because they're
is,
the ones that drafted the maps.
they drafted it, but it's our changes that
Yeah.
the planning commission has
Yeah.
approved. Okay.
Any changes in the village area? I think it's more, nothing.
The only thing up this way would be, LaFar Street and a little bit of Wall Farm Road, that land, I don't remember what district it was in, but they did it so that you could have housing up there. Because LaFar Street, he wanted to put housing up there. That lot beside the town garage, if you wanted to put housing there,
Yep.
it wasn't allowed before, so that changed a little bit.
My planning commission's okay with this.
Oh yeah, they've already approved them.
All right, motion to approve this.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Motion been made second to approve the NRPC zoning district map, which has also been approved by the Swanton Planning Commission. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Next item, authorization for delinquent tax collector to hire Von Como for tax sales.
Yeah.
So Betty called me and asked for that to be added and said that she needs authority to hire Vaughn for tax sales, like she has previously. It's just for the tax sales. And also an update on the 4th Street house that is set to close next Friday.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't wanna get into, is that a local person that's gonna
Yep.
live there?
yeah. Well, we're gonna.
Yeah, they're gonna rehab it.
And they're gonna live there?
I'm not sure if they're
They'll
gonna.
probably sell it or rent it
Yeah,
out.
well, that's good.
Yeah,
That's a-
So we're gonna get all our money back.
Yep.
Yeah.
that's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the estate actually thinks it's gonna make a little money.
And for anyone living on that street, that's gonna be a big improvement, fairly quick.
We're brought up on the other end, so it's gonna look nice.
Okay, so we need an,
I'll move that we approve
Just-
hiring Von Como. He's done it before.
Yeah, he's who always comes to do the tax sales when they.
have the motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, any discussion?
Yeah, Vaughn, first of all, does a great job. I'm just, but is it by statute, Brian, that regulates what they can charge? I wanna make sure that we,
I believe it is, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, he does give good turnaround time.
oh, yeah, I mean, I'm not questioning it at all.
So, but it's pretty well spelled out what the charges can be.
Okay, so if they go above that, they'd have to come back and there's special circumstances and we could,
But, you know, they typically,
The person buying it pays it.
the taxes are paid before they actually get to a tax
Oh, sure.
sale anyway, so.
Brian, even if there is a tax sale, Vaughn has to do some work ahead of time. He
Yeah.
does like a title search and everything on the property.
Yeah.
yep,
But when the taxes are collected, the legal fees are collected and we're reimbursed for
Right.
those.
So and that's why they're told how much because the taxpayers.
okay.
actually
But again,
responsible for that.
his fee, I'm not saying that it's exorbitant or anything like that, but his fee is set or governed according to statute. That's my only question.
No, it's not, is it?
I would've thought it was.
I think at the last tax sale he did with all the title, and there was a few of them that he what happens is he has to send someone in to research the properties going up for tax sale. And then he does all the letters and they have a date that they have to come into his office with the money or the tax sale happens. So a lot of those properties, once he's done and sent them his letter saying they're gonna go for tax sale, he's representing the town of Swanton, some of them will come and pay like on the last day that they're allowed to pay. So then the tax sale goes up and when they pay, they have to pay his cost. I mean, I think we got billed like $600 for the last time we did and we got all the money back.
Okay.
So-
I understand how the process
I'll look and
works.
see if there's a limit on the fee, but I don't remember.
I thought you said at one time when we were, actually Betty was in here that time, that it was tied to a statute, which might have been a percentage of the funds
Yeah, we can
involved.
double check, 'cause
Yeah.
they change the statutes constantly.
Of course, yeah.
And so but we'll check, see what they.
Yeah, not that I'm
And they had
concerned
changes
about
this
his
year,
fees,
too.
but I'd just like to know if there's a ceiling.
Kathy, do you know if there's a lot of properties or just a few?
Oh, I don't know right now because the way they've changed how you can do a tax sale isn't the same way you could do a tax sale 2 years ago. It's more like a 3-year process versus a 2-year process.
Okay. No further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, so moved. Talked about winter road policy, railroad museum discussion, that was Nick, I think we asked you to look into that a little bit.
Yeah,
As far as, usage.
I was able to obtain the visitor's log for the Depot Museum. And if anybody wants to look at it, feel free. I did a count of how many people we got coming in 2025, and I counted about through May through October, I counted about 215 people coming through. Like I signed it myself, but there's a couple familiar names, but it's mostly people from out of town or out of state. So it does get uses. It was more than I thought it was.
And that's for what period of time?
So this year was from May to October. And usually we would also do a winter trains event that would get some people in to sign the book, but we didn't do it.
Is that the end of October, Nick?
It's October, last one's October 10th.
And the first one is May?
First one is, May 10th.
May 10th.
Yeah.
I think one thing, and right now we're busy with other stuff, but I think it'd be good to pull together, what does it cost us to heat and all the other utilities for that building? Just so we take a look at it and say we're all comfortable with it. And we're looking to do some capital repairs on that building here, some with grant and some of them may come from another source, but just put that out there for future meetings. Any other discussion on that? Thank you for getting that, Nick.
You're welcome.
All right, we're gonna move on to promote Swanton update.
I'm still waiting to hear back from EcoPixel about the work that they're doing for branding. I did reach out to them again today, and I'm waiting on another proposal or estimate on wayfinding. And I should have something to report back next time.
We're also scheduling probably another round of visit to businesses here in Swanton too, especially once we get our wayfinding stuff together. To let them know what's going on and also to update them on the village's streetscape plan. And get some public input, get some input from them too.
Getting any signage with the streetscape, or is it more just the actual physical changes to the street and parking area?
I assume the signage is gonna be complied with the changes they made to the street. Not direct parking or anything like that.
Okay.
But that's where the wayfinding proposal would come in
Yeah.
to help identify those areas around town.
What
Okay.
is a streetscape renovations begin anyway. That's gonna be the parking lot and square, and then, what's this little street over there, Church Street? When do those begin?
Some work is supposed to take place this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they need to get some easements signed. And the Masonic Lodge, one of the property owners, they need an easement signed for. Put them in touch with the proper person there.
The Merchants Row has a fair amount of work being done there.
Yeah,
There's a permit sign in the window and,
yeah, that's, Renee Chaffee is doing some renovations to her end of the building and putting in another place for business, and possibly two places, I'm not quite sure, I haven't spoken to Amy yet exactly what it is that's gonna go in there. And also there is, you'd have to go onto the Franklin County Chamber of Commerce Facebook page and reserve the spot if you plan on going. There's a chamber mixer. The Franklin County Chamber of Commerce is having a chamber mixer this Thursday at 5:30 to 7:30 at Divine Treasures. And trying to encourage as many people from Swanton to attend that.
That's a big draw.
There's some, refreshments and whatnot, and there's door prizes. So anyways, it starts at 5:30, I believe 5:30 to 7:30.
There was I'm new on Facebook, I've never been there before, so I got
You're in
on.
for a treat.
What's that?
You're in for a treat.
Can that suck up your schedule?
I'm surprised you're still alive, not using Facebook.
It was on Facebook, it must be true.
Yeah, I noticed that there was something that went on, I think at the library, and Nicole was in it, and Darcy. I thought that was pretty well done. Thank you. It was a chance to talk about everything going on in Swanton, and it's not the same old faces, like all of us.
that was the Vermont Public
Yeah.
Town Hall, yeah.
I think that was very well done, and I had somebody stop me this morning and ask, just talk about it. So, I mean, there's a lot going on, very positive stuff. And, I just throw something out. Go by, as a friend of mine calls the Notch, Swanton's little hospital. That place is packed all the time. And take a look at the employee lot. Those are all folks that are practicing medicine in some form. They've been trained, if they come in off the street, they're trained, good wages, good benefits. Then we got the old bank building for the prescriptions. I mean, you look at that, that's pretty impressive. And, it's not like it was even 5 years ago. I'm talking about the whole downtown area, so everybody's pulling on the same end of the rope here.
It's great, and I think at the Swan Enhancement Project, it was also said that it's all women running the businesses down in that area, with the exception of the parts store, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a good job anyway, you guys.
a lot going on. Next meeting agenda, proposed health and safety ordinance. What about the loitering one, any chance? Because I know there's other stuff we gotta.
I will try to get that done.
If not, it won't get on the agenda, but.
Yeah, we may replace it, but it's pretty brief. I mean, it's not.
Doesn't need to be
Right.
too much to it, I don't think.
No, I was working on it today a little bit, so, yeah.
Okay, anybody, anything else?
Do you wanna have
What-
the winter road one then, so you have it ready for this?
We can list it there, yeah, that should be an easy change. I'll finish that up. I'm gonna be on the road for a couple weeks, but I should be able to get that.
When it comes to the next meeting, do you want me to get the utility cost for the Historical Society building?
I have that, I paid the bills.
You do that? Okay. You
But
can get
my only question is, with everything else going on, I just don't wanna
You don't want to.
spend a lot of time. If it's something that takes a couple minutes, that's one thing,
Yeah.
but getting
That
this,
can wait.
getting the town report out to
Okay.
me right now and budgets and ready
Oh, yeah,
for the
that's-
March meeting, that is the number one that they're doing. Okay, so on to any other business, the 02 December memo, Steve?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I'd asked Brian if he could get an update on, we have authorized $15,000 to the rec department to begin looking at the buildings and potential designs and everything, and just to have an update as to where we might be on that. And, but that And the reason I do that is that's taxpayer money. We should know what kind of progress they're making and things. But I've got a series of other things that,
Before you go to the other list, it's 10,000, what I remember.
I thought it was 15.
Yeah.
It was 10.
10, yeah, just to
Sorry.
get that clarified on the
Yeah, I'm
camera,
gonna
but
make a note
10,000.
here. And I've got some thoughts that I'd like to expand on, that would go with the memo I sent out on December 2nd.
I don't think that I received that.
Is December 2nd?
Yeah, I'm looking through my emails and I don't see anything
I
from
sent it to
Steve.
Joel and,
Yeah, and I sent it again after last meeting, because we
Yeah.
discussed it last meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, the one with that you sent Betsy and Ron.
Your memo regarding the vehicle and
Yeah.
expenditures for the vehicle is the one I resent and
Then you
asked to
do
get
have
it to
that.
Ron, because I didn't have Ron's address, and because I sent it to, this was right after the last meeting, because of the
Yeah, yeah.
discussion we had here.
I'm sure.
You know, maybe
we will.
there's a hiccup or something,
No,
but,
I see it now.
okay,
It came from you, not Steve.
yep.
I've got some other thoughts that I'd like to include, could kind of expand on that. And it all deals with managing public money and whatever, so what I'm gonna do is send just an update on this I'd like to send it to Brian and Joel, and they can hash it out and clean it up or tell me I'm nuts, and then send it out to everybody else. So that's my plan. I'll do that in the next couple of weeks or so.
Okay,
Good.
yeah, fair enough.
Yep.
It's too cold in the building, that's what you want to really
Wow.
say.
Okay, well, let's see, I believe at our last meeting said the following Friday that the people a gentleman from Vermont Gas was gonna come and do a brief energy audit of the office, and they did come. And we started in the basement. And he looked at the boiler, he says, well, there's the problem, some of the problem right there, that boiler is too small. Way too small. And so that's like the third time we've heard that. And then a local plumber was in changing a thermostat up in the front, which helped Kathy's area. I think these thermostats we got are shocked, and so we've ordered four more today, new ones, and see if that will work. But that still goes to the root problem of the boiler being too small. And that plumber also said, well, your boiler is too small. And so I would look, that's the biggest type of boiler of that size, so what you'd have to do is to go with 2 boilers to adequately address the building, if we went with that route. And years ago, over when I worked for the Chittenden, and they finally got rid of the electric heat and went to boilers or forced air system, they did it with a similar size unit, but 2 of them. So what I would like to do is 2 things. First of all is to put an RFP out to local plumbing concerns and ask them that we're looking for proposals for possibly in putting in or replacing the heating boilers with new boilers, sizable to do this size building. And the second is there was some variety of other weatherization things that need to be done around here that can help. Caulking around the windows and some weather guards under the doors, etc. And I was just looking to get a contractor to do that.
When you're talking about the heating system, did you get an engineer before you have these folks come in to really tell us what we should be looking for, or is it gonna let the plumbers guess what we need?
I'll jump in on that one real quick, Steve. I think there's another issue here that fits right in with that is you can look at a boiler and listen to it, how often it cycles, and say it's too small, which that one probably is too small, but one of the problems is the insulation, the weatherization you're talking about. In conjunction with replacing those, because we probably don't want to replace them till springtime when, it warms up.
Yeah.
Is we should have an estimate, and I haven't really looked down through, but I don't believe there's insulation between this ceiling and the floor up there.
And there's some spots in the walls that are not well insulated. He had a nice little gadget. It was a
Oh, infrared, yeah.
infrared on his cell phone. And you could see, well, that spot there doesn't have much insulation right there for some reason, and it was all over the building like that, so.
And
yeah.
he did recommend reaching out to some insulations.
Yeah, possibly even to do a blow test like we did at the library.
Right, but I would really like to throw into, because we go and get somebody to upsize the boilers for the condition this building is right now. They actually could be just a hair smaller possibly if we get the insulation done too, and getting the insulation
Yeah.
done is actually gonna save us money.
Yeah.
I like the idea of two boilers, because if one quits,
Fails.
the other one at least would keep minimal heat
Right.
to keep it
Yeah.
from freezing, and that's what's often done with these newer boilers. If you put two in a town garage, you get two, and, but I think I recommend we take it one step further to try to get some figures on the insulation. And then, when someone knows that that's R19 or whatever, and they know the size of this building, then they would come up with what they think the heat load is gonna be.
Okay, so we could do that.
So who would do that, Joe? Would it be an engineer that's skilled in that kind of study, like whether we need the two boilers and the size, and might do some other work here, or?
A good mechanical, not engineer, but a good mechanical contractor
Okay.
can figure out the heat load on this building. If we get the insulation looked at and we know what we wanna do for insulation, then they can figure out the square footage and come up with
They
a,
might tackle this,
Helo.
this second floor.
I think it should be part of the process, cause that,
Yeah,
yeah. All we use is for a little bit of storage up there, there's ways to raise up what we're storing stuff on and get insulation, get that sealed up good.
is this building on the historic register?
I
think so.
I think it's,
So if we do anything, I mean, it makes sense.
internal, it wouldn't be a problem
Okay.
like that, especially up there. You
Internally.
start doing the outside stuff and that's where they're gonna.
So I can put out an RFP for a mechanical contractor asking for, or just call up somebody and,
I think we should get that,
Let's find out about the
Insulation piece.
insulation first.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, the insulation.
I would talk with some insulation companies, get them to come look and see. And Laz again had that company that did the library. You may have some suggestions, you know. That's what I recommend.
All right, we'll check with Larry.
And then
Go from
getting the
there.
RFPs and getting the boilers changed before next year, I think
Yeah.
could be very doable if
It
we get
was
somewhere.
65 in my office this morning. It was a little chilly.
Where does
Hell,
that
well,
go
warm
on?
in the outdoors.
Where's that-
Friday
Where's
we got some heat
I have to go
out of it
inside the
eventually.
bathroom,
It
so.
started getting cold again.
That's right.
Okay, we'll start with the insulation and go from there, so maybe in the
Need a
summer
roll.
we'll be ready to go.
Yeah, yep. Correspondence,
Don't have any.
public comment. Okay, upcoming events.
Thursday, January 22nd, 2026 at 6 PM will be a DRB meeting at the town office. Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026 at 6 PM will be a select board meeting at 6 PM. And then I have February 23rd, 2026 is our informational meeting at what time?
6 o'clock.
6 PM. And is that here or is that in the
No, at the
village?
village
At municipal
complex.
complex.
Okay. Anything else? Entertain a
Just-
motion to adjourn?
Have the warning to be signed.
Yeah, let's get that
Well, please
passed
do
around.
that.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
Motion been made, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Please sign that before you leave, so they'll have that for the
Oh, what did you?